back to the channel, guys. So, we're back with some actual 9th edition instead of printed 9th edition that was the last battle rep, so we have proper rules.
Proper rules, proper terrain. We're going to do this properly.
Well, we hope. We'll probably make a load of mistakes because this is my first proper game. And, well, you've had...
This is my third.
Third? Okay, so we might not get everything wrong. So today, we're doing 1,000 points, and we've got Harry's Orks back on the channel, because I got whooped last time, so I thought, well, I'm going to bring something a bit meatier. I've brought my Astral Claws, so it's their channel debut. They are running it as an Iron Hand successor, because they don't have an actual parent chapter.
As if the Orks need another reason to be kicked down.
That is true. So yeah, as Night's Out, we have got the core rulebook, which weighs an absolute ton, but we found the chapter approved. If you can get your hands on that, it's far more efficient and a lot more useful.
In this, it's pretty much identical to, it's got almost identical missions to the core rulebook. Some of the secondaries have been slightly tweaked, as well as some of the missions, which I'm guessing is just to make them more competitive, whereas a bit more casual. Either which way, this one's just nice to have in your back pocket.
Definitely, especially when it's, what, like 1/3
Weighs
the
about
size.
2 grams.
Okay, so we're going to go on to our actual armies and what we've brought today. So we'll see you in a second. Okay, so here's my 1,000 points of Astral Claws, playing as an Iron Hand successor, as we still don't know who their true heritage is. Aha. So, leading up the HQ choices with my battalion, I have Huron, who is the chapter master in Terminator armor. So he will be then accompanied by a Primaris Chaosified librarian, who is running Blessing of the Machine God and Steel armor as his psychic powers, along with Smite. And then in my troops choices, I do have the 3 blobs of intercessors, just standard 5-man groups, nothing special on the sergeants. They are just bare bones. And then moving on to my elites, I'm running a Blade Guard veteran squad from the new Indominus box. So that would be great to see what they're like on the field. Followed then by my mass amounts of heavy support. So I have a Whirlwind with a Castellan launcher, because Castellan launchers are now 0 points. So it makes the Whirlwind only 125, as you have to pay for Vengeance launchers now. And then I have an Eliminator squad, which is just all have the bolt sniper rifles. No upgrades on the sergeant, he's just bare bones as well. And then we have a very scary looking Eradicator squad. Looking forward to using these guys, because their new melter rifles are absolutely ridiculous. Being able to shoot twice, I don't think Harry's going to enjoy that much. So that is my 1,000 points of Astral Claws.
Alright then, so this is going to be 1,000 points of Orks. So starting off, we have my Warlord, which is my war boss. He's got his attack squig, custom shooter as standard. I've given him the Killer Claw relic, so that's the ×2 strength, rerolling wound, flat 3 damage power claw. I've also given him the Brutal but Cunning Warlord traits. That gives him a reroll hit rolls in the fight phase and +1 damage characteristic to all of his weapons if he charges, was charged, or heroically intervenes. Finally, I spent another CP on this list to give him the biggest boss from Saga of the Beast. That means that he's got +1 attack, +1 wound, and a 4-up invuln save, which he's sorely lacking normally. My second HQ is my Weird Boy. Nice and simply, he's just got to jump. Moving then on into my troops choices, I have got 2 mobs of 20 Orc boys. Both of them have got their knobs, which have got a power claw, sorry, not power claw, a big chopper, which is +2 strength, so rocking around at strength 7, -1 AP, and flat 2 damage. The boys' squads are kitted out with 10 of them have got choppers and sluggers, and then 9 of them have got some shooters, because I'm going to try and mix up the mobs a little bit. My final troops choice is a Plucky squad of Grots, with their effectively las pistols as a main weapon. In my elites choice, I have got my Megnobs. 2 of those have got power claws and custom shooters, and the one has a pair of kill saws. My other elites choice is my Pain Boy, and he's just got his power claw as he comes with as standard. next into heavy support, I've got 2 separate squads of killer cans, so 1 individual unit each. Both of them have got rocket launchers, just for a little bit of extra, anti-tank, but I'm not expecting much from them, just to probably sit on objectives or just be a distraction. One of the two, we'll see when we roll the mission. Finally, I have got my Death Dread. So he is equipped with 4 close combat weapons, so 2 Dread Claws and 2 Dread Saws. He also has spent another CP for a custom job, which is Orkimatic Pistons. So that increases his movement characteristic to 9 inches and allows me to re-roll advanced rolls. And last but not least, I've got my Ork truck, which will transport the Meganobs into the fray. That's it. That is 999 points of all. Alright then, so mission today, we are playing mission number 13 out of the chapter approved book, called Raid. So 6 objectives on the board, so we've got 2 in each of our deployment zones, and then 2 smack bang in the middle of the field. So mission special for this mission is recover supply cache. So at the start, in this mission, a player receives 1 additional command point at the start of their command phase if they control 1 or both of the objective markers in their opponent's deployment zone. So for example, if this is my deployment zone, if I manage to hold 1 or both of Tom's objectives, I get an additional command point in addition to the one that I score for being Battleforged. In terms of terrain, we have got, I'm really chuffed with this board because I managed to paint it up pretty much all up. The only bits that aren't mine are the lovely bits of machinery that Toby's done. So in terms of rules wise, we're rocking 3 bits of ruins. We've got some forests here, which we'll be using the special rules for. And we've also got obstacles in terms of machinery and a single barricade. So in terms of special rules, the ruins have our area terrain. They've got scalable, breachable, light cover, so that means that you get +1 armor save when you're being shot at. Defensible, so when you're being charged, you can either hit on 2s in your first round of combat or overwatch on 5s. And you've also got obscuring, so that means that you get to shoot. So I can shoot something that's inside it and I can shoot out of it, but I can't shoot through the building. So unlike 8th edition, you've got to think of it as you can't shoot into it, can't shoot behind it. Then scalable and breachable, infantry, beasts and swarms can move up and down and can also go through the buildings. In terms of woods, they're also area terrain. They've got dense cover, breachable, defensible and difficult ground. So difficult ground is -2 to any of your movements. So well, it makes sense, you're hacking your way through a tree. And then dense cover is one of the new ones, which effectively means that as long as it is tall enough, which these trees are, if you're shooting through it, it is -1 to hit rolls. So it's slightly different to just being obscuring, so should add a nice little bit of challenge. So you don't want to necessarily have everything. You can have stuff hidden behind it, but you've also got to be wary of your own stuff as well. In terms of the barricades, they have got defense line, light cover, heavy cover, defensible and stable position, difficult ground. So difficult ground, once again, -2 to your movements. Unstable position, you can't be a bit gamey and stick stuff on top of it where it won't balance. Light cover, once again, +1 to save shooting. Heavy cover is +1 to your saves if you were charged. And defense line is effectively means like barricades were in the old editions. You can pile in, you can fight even though it will be over ½ an inch gap. Then obstacles themselves, only infantry, bikers and swarms will receive the benefit of light cover if they are within 3 inches of it. So they're just there with a little bit of cover, but nothing special. Brilliant, so that's the mission. We will come back with deployment. secondaries. So actually quite difficult at 1,000 points to think what is a really good secondary. So Tom, you went for engagement front, so you get 2 points if you have 3 separate units more than 9 inches away from the centre of the board. So 2 points if you get into 3 zones, or 3 points if you get in all 4 zones. Thin the ranks, so for every 10 models that you destroy, you get a point, and then units with 10 plus more wounds, I believe, are 10 wounds in total. So you get a point. So you get a point for killing the Orc truck, and then for every 10 Orcs that you kill, that gives you a point. And then assassinate, which is 3 points for every character you destroy. So that'll be my pain boy, my weird boy, and my war boss. For me, I went with raise the banners high, so that's an action that I do at the start of my turn. And at the end of the turn, I score a point for each banner that is still raised on the in my command phase. In addition, at the end of the game, I score an additional victory point for each banner that is still held high. I went for domination, which is a new one for me. That is, I score 3 victory points if I control more than half the total number of objective markers on the battlefield at the end of my turn. So, you never know, it could go well, especially if I'm, as a horde, I'm going to be rushing up with 4 objectives on the board. Yeah, could see that working. And then finally, I went for the special one, which is raid supply lines from the book. That one there is I score 3 victory points if I control one of the objective markers in my opponent's deployment zone, or 5 if I control both. Probably going to be going for just 3 at this point with that massive castle on the board. So yeah, that's that. Roll off to see who goes first.
Okay. Cool, so let's grab one of my dice.
That's 5.
And I rolled a 4, so...
Orcs are going first.
Awesome, so...
Thank goodness.
We'll come back after Orcs movement phase, and then let you know what's happened.
Right then, so end of Orcs turn 1 movement. I've just full on blitzed up the board really. So the weird boy, first of all, disembarked from the truck. I wasn't sure whether I was going to get turn 1, and as he is quite useful to the whole plan of my Orcs, I need to keep him alive from the eliminators. At the moment, so he disembarked, so I might do some psychic stuff, I might not, depending on what happens. Warboss and Pain Boy ran up. The Orc Boys mob here has just moved up because they are starting to raise the banner on this home objective. My Gretchen, which are behind this lovely ruin here, have moved onto the objective where the Orc Boys once were, and I can have not advanced, they're starting to raise the banner. The 2 cans have just moved up slightly. This one's gaining -1 to hit, save from being in a tree. This can here...
From being in a tree.
Well, that's how it's going. This can here has just popped away around, so you can make a 5-up shot on those intercessors there. This boy squad here just walked up, and then the last thing that happened is Death Dread. I rolled a 2 in his advance roll normally, so automatic piston is given a 9-inch movement, and then I'm allowed to re-roll the charge. So I re-rolled and got a 5, so he's moved 14 inches up the board to claim that objective as well. So that's that. On to Psychic Phase.
Awesome. So I'll catch you back in a minute. Okay, so Harry decided against some Psychic this time. I'm guessing that'll be coming at me next turn. But we're going to recap the shooting phase because it would have, well, turned out not to be
anything
the
at
most
all.
dramatic of things to ever happen.
So in terms of shooting, the can shot up at the intercessors there, but thanks to the -1 to hit because the trees are dense cover, missed. This can here, because you're shooting through it, doesn't get the -1 to hit, but still missed when you tried to shoot at the eliminators. The truck advance, so the big shooter and the custom shooters from the Mega Knobs, once again went into the intercessors, did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, pretty scary phase. I didn't really know what to do. Are we
You
gonna...
even picked up dice in
Yes.
anticipation. Didn't need to.
So, are you doing any charges?
No, because both things that are closest to charge have advance, and I can't do that. So we will quickly tot up the points, and we'll come back with what my score is at the end of turn 1.
Yep.
And then we'll move on to turn 2.
Awesome. So see you in a second.
All right then. So really nice and easy. I can't score the primaries just yet. I've raised the banners, so they will start scoring on. I've just marked them off with my Orky dice. They will start scoring me in my next command phase. I did, because it's the end of my turn, get 3 points for domination because I've advanced both the Death Dread and the Truck Up. And then the raid supply cache objective doesn't come until next turn either. So in total, I've got 3 points.
Awesome.
On to Astral Claws turn 1.
Yeah, I'd also like to apologise. We are starting to use a gimbal, so if some of the shots are really random, it's because we're still learning how to use it. I do apologise. But yeah, as we get more used to it, of course, it will add to it. So yeah, going to move on to my turn 1, and now I'll come back and recap with my movement. Okay, so end of my movement phase. Not very exciting. All I've really done is just moved up this blob here. So Huron, as the Intercessors, Blade Guards, and my Librarian have pushed out. They're just forming a little blockage line at the front. In terms of moving into my shooting phase, I probably am thinking about putting my Eradicators into this big boy. But in my Psychic phase, I might go for a Smite, just to knock off some wounds off the Death Dread. But we'll come back in a second, and then I'll see what I can muster up. Okay, so yeah, I've thought about it. I am going to try and smite the Death Dread. We have double checked he is in range for the 18-inch smite. So, going to roll off to see if my Heretic Librarian blows himself up. Let's not drop the dice in the tree. So, on... Oh, do I want to CP one of them? Because I would only need a 2.
You'd have to roll both because the CPU.
Yeah. Screw it. I'm going to use a CP reroll because with Huron being my Warlord, even though the detachment gives me 6, well, the game, I actually get 7 with Huron because that's his little extra trait for being Warlord. So we're going to reroll it. Wow, double 1. He's perils.
Well, that's a perils.
He really hates himself. That's why he's gone chaos. So D3 mortal wounds on himself. He does a whopping 3 as well. Jesus. How many wounds has he even got?
Probably 4 or 5.
5. So he's down to 2 straight off the bat. This is not a great start. It's new painted model syndrome.
I mean, Tom, you're playing with the ruinous powers. What do you expect?
Okay, so moving on to shooting. I am going to use my Eradicators against the trucky boy over here. So I think we will actually see what happens. So Eradicators have Melter Rifles, which are the new version. So they are Assault 1, so I get 3 shots. I am within range of Huron, so I do get his Chapter Master reroll for failed hits. And I am hitting on 3s. And cool, but you're not in half range.
Nope.
So I won't be getting the extra.
Shooting all 3 at the same target, you get to double fire.
I do, so that means I get 6 shots now, which is even more horrific. So hitting on 3s, which...
Well, they all hit.
They all hit. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
And then they are Strength 8.
Toughness 6. So
Toughness 6, so 3's to wound. So 2 fails, so 4 go through.
I've got a 4 of palms though, so they go straight through.
Yep, because they're -4. Well, actually -5 with Devastator Doctrine.
No, they're assault weapons. So
oh no, so yeah, it would be next turn. And then they're D6 damage. So first one does 5.
Yep.
Second one does 5. Third one does 2. And then last one does another 5. So that's
what we'll do is
17 damage.
I get to ramshackle.
But you do get to ramshackle.
So because 3 of them are 5 up, so the 5 up saves. I save 1.
Nice.
And pretty much, yeah, he's dead anyway. Does he blow up?
No.
Thank goodness.
Only on a 4. Damn.
So, what else have you got there? You've got the basically just bolt rifles.
Yeah, bolt rifles. Do I want to use Huron's special ability? So Huron does get a special ability. I can forego his shooting, which end of the day isn't the worst thing in the world because he only has a giant flame on his wrist. I can orbitally bombard. Can't target characters.
No.
But I can target a unit. And on a 2+, they take D6 mortal wounds.
If you want to go against the Mega Knobs, you can do.
I'm thinking either Mega Knobs or against Deathy.
With that ability, like non-multiple arms, does he have to stay still?
Not that I know of. I know it's a once per battle. I will just double check it.
We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll just double check. Okay, so we have double checked it. So its wording is big guns never tire. So it isn't technically an orbital bombardment. It's more like a giant artillery shell. So against the Mega Knobs, on a roll of a 2+, they will take D6 mortal wounds. Kind of annoying. Well, it's not kind of annoying because it'd be very overpowered if I could just target a character and eliminate them instantly. So, let's see what I roll. On a 5, so that goes through. And then they take D6 mortals. So that is 3.
Well, that kills a Mega Knob.
Yeah, so that's at least 1 dead. For my other firing, I'm going to be putting the Whirlwind into the Grots and my Eliminators into the Weird Boy. So we'll come back after that. Awesome. So end of my shooting phase. The rest of it wasn't that dramatic. The Eliminators failed to even hurt the Weird Boy. The Intercessors down here took some pot shots at the Mega Knobs, but they loved it. But the Whirlwind did get me 5 little grotties off this little area. So we got to do morale. Hopefully they can run away.
Their leadership force, they're already running away.
Yeah.
So a roll of 1 will mean that they automatically pass. Anything else will have to do combat attrition. They also pass.
Oh, okay. That is exactly what you needed. All right.
Well, I'm quite good at rolling at.
All right then. So we're going to move on. End of the turn. I'm on 16 points.
1 point because you've killed effectively 16 models, which gives you 1 point within their ranks.
So that's a good start for me, and you are on
3.
3. Cool. So we're going to move into Harry's turn 2, and we'll come back after his movement phase.
Right then, so turn 2 for the Orks. So starting off in terms of points, at the start of the turn, I held 1 objective, held 2 or more objectives, and I held more than Tom. So that meant that I maxed out my primaries for 15 points this turn. I got my 2 points for raising the banners, and so far that's all I've scored this turn. In terms of movement, the Orc boys mob here has walked up the board. They're going to start raising the banner on this squad, on this objective here. The War Boss, Pain Boy, Grot, and Weird Boy have all advanced up the board. Make sure that the War Boss and the Pain Boy are both within 3 inches of both of those boys mobs to get the Breaking Heads morale mitigation, as well as the 6-up feeling the pain for the Pain Boy. The Death Dread has tag team the Orc boys here, who have gone to capture objective. The Death Dread has waddled on down to probably go. Oh, that's what they do. Has moved on down and is going to hit some things in combat. The Mega Knobs have done the same. They have managed to get past the barricades with their movement, so they won't be minusing to charge. And then finally, the Killer Cans. So can number 1 has waddled itself back out the way, so he is now on that objective, pretty much safe. And this Killer Can here has just moved himself as far out of line of sight so that he can't be hit by any of the anti-tank weapons. In terms of Psychic, once again I'm not going to do any Psychic because I don't see it being quite enough just yet. And we will come back with some shooting.
Awesome, so we'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so after some terrifying shooting, and yeah, we managed to get an actual hit on the Eliminators. So I did have to make a single save, which was easy, when you roll 6. Easies. There was no psychic either, and then the rest of the shooting came to absolutely nothing. But what are you thinking of doing, Harry?
We've got some charges to do. So starting off, I am going to go in with the Death Dread. Just actually, how far is everyone away? Because we'll go for a charge against the Death Dread into both the Blade Guard and the Intercessors.
Okay.
To Overwatch.
Do I want to Overwatch? I could, because I am Iron Hands.
But it's bolted against a Dread.
A high toughness Dread. I could throw crack grenades.
You could do.
Alright, what we'll do, we'll come back in a second, we'll just have a think, and I'll see if I want to spend the CP or not. Awesome, so I've decided to go against using a CP for Overwatch because I haven't got any big enough guns to really harm Deathy Boy. If it was like my Eradicators, I probably would because it'd be more guaranteed to kill, but probably won't happen as much. So Harry, who and what are you charging?
So starting off with the Death Dread, I'm going to spend 2 command points on ramming speed. The 3d6 charge is a little bit overkill, but it's for the 2+2 d3 mortal wounds, which might come in handy against either the Blade Guards or the Intercessors. So
Fair enough.
3d6 charge. Bear in. So he's going to go plop like that into both. And on a 2+, I will go against the Blade Guard. Goes through. So D3 mortal wounds on Blade Guard. 2.
2.
So Iron Hand saves.
Yep, so 2 5-ups.
6 ups because you're.
Oh yeah, 6
you haven't
up.
got a Chief Apothecary.
Yes. So make one, fail one. So that is just down to 1 wound on one of them.
Happy days. And then the Meganobs will go just in against the Intercessors. So 2d6. So a 6 and a 2, a 7 will make it in.
Yeah.
So I'll do those movements in a sec, and then we'll go on to the fight phase.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Deafy's come barreling in, and so are the Meganobs. So Harry is electing to attack the Blade Guard veterans.
Yep. So all attacks are going from the Death Dread into the Blade Guard. So he starts off with 2 attacks, and then he gets 2 more attacks for having 2 Dread Claws and 2 more attacks for having 2 Dread Saws. I will start out with the Dread Saw attacks. So these are hitting on 3s and 6s do additional hits because I'm a goth. So 1 miss, 1 hit, 1 hit.
Oh, 1 hit.
Strength 9, so
Toughness 4, yep.
2's to wound. No, 3's to wound because your trait. Is it indomitable?
Yes.
Yeah. 5 still wounds.
Yep.
So that's a -2 AP.
So that's a 4-up.
Either way.
Yeah, 4-up either way. Because even though they have Storm Shields on the new Indominus, they're not the 3-up Storm Shields. I do get +1 to my saves. They're on a 2-up save, so it doesn't really matter. So it's just a 4-up straight away, which I make.
Loves it.
Also, to go back where I only put them down to 1 wound, I didn't actually realise they have 3 wounds each, which is actually pretty good for a new Marine squad.
So then we'll go with the Dread Claw attacks. So 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 6 do additional attacks. So
3 hits.
3 hits, 3's to wound.
3 wounds.
3 wounds, -3, so that will be on your 4-up in them for
Yeah.
your sword shield.
4-up in them. So 1 goes through.
Flat 3 damage.
Flat 3. So 3 6-ups, which that's definitely 1 dead.
So actually, they're quite tough.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse for me. And now on to the Meganobs.
Do you want to interrupt?
Do I want to interrupt? No, because I'm still going to get my attacks back.
Okay, no worries. So I will have 4 attacks with the knob with the kill saws and 3 attacks with the power claw knob.
Okay.
The kill saw knob first, hitting on 4s because he's -1 to hit, and 6 do additional hits.
So
like that.
2 additional.
Cool. So
Nice.
4. 3's to wound again because indomitable. All of those go through. They are -4 AP,
So no save.
so it's flat 2 damage a pop.
Okay, so first guy is on 1 wound, so the second
Yep.
one kills him. And then,
Not necessarily. You might have to roll them because you might get a double 6.
yep, yeah, so that's 1 dead. And then
Second one, dead.
dead,
And then the final one, dead.
dead.
Cool. So 3 dead intercessors.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Starting to thin my ranks now.
Slightly trickier than compared to an orc.
Yeah, just a little. Cool, so that is the end of your fighting.
Yeah.
Unless you've got any strategies you want to pull out for...
I can't do any more until you attack back.
Okay, so I'm going to pile in on these guys. Give me a bit of extra room. So, what we're going to do... So, Blade Guard Veteran. I've still got the Sergeant and one of his mates. So I was charged. So normally the normal get 3 attacks, goes up to 4. And the Sergeant will be on 5. So 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. And I do get to reroll the 1 because of Huron. Awesome. So that's actually a pretty good attack back. So they have a master-crafted power sword, which is their new weapon, which makes them strength 5.
So wound you on 5s.
So wounding on 5s, and then they're -3, 2 damage apiece.
Lovely.
So
Just the one?
just the one, -3.
I get a 6-up save. Nope.
No, so
Takes
he's
2 wounds. So
2.
he's down to 6 wounds left.
6 wounds.
There you go.
And okay, and then my intercessors get 7 attacks with the Sarge and 1 guy left.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s, of course I get to reroll any 1s. 3 1s is always nice. So 3 hits, falls to wound. So 1 wound, no minus, because it's just a standard.
2-up save. No.
Taking a wound, nice.
I will go against the... Do you realise I haven't actually fought with the Power Claw yet?
Oh. Yeah, go back.
Kill swords, so he's down to... He's
2.
down to 2.
But yeah,
I just remember I thought...
yeah, we'll let you
Have I?
quickly roll that.
Hang on, two seconds.
Yeah, we'll double check and come back. Okay, so yeah, we went back on the footage, and yeah, the power swords hadn't been done, so they did finish off another intercessor and put the sergeant down to 1 wound. But that is it for combat.
That is it.
So I've lost 4 guys out of my intercessor squad, so I do need to make a morale test. Which is a 5 plus 4 is 9, which is over, but I still get to re-roll it.
Yeah, no fear.
To a 4, 8 with Sun and Sarge is just enough. Cool, so that is the end of combat.
Yeah. The Blade Guards don't need it because they lost 1 guy.
Yeah, so they automatically pass. Cool, so moving on to turn 2 for the Astral Claws.
Holding 2 objectives.
Okay, so at the beginning of my turn in my command phase, I've gained 10 points for holding 2 objectives. I've also gained a command point back, so I'm back up to 7. I haven't spent any other command points. In terms of movement, so Huron has come around to support the Blade Guard veterans a bit. I think he's just a bit angry that one of them decided to die. I've pulled back the Intercessor from the Meganobs because my idea is that the Eradicators should be able to deal with them. They will have a bit of help from other guys just to make sure. But there is this big scary blob over here. So I am probably going to have to use things like these Intercessors and the Whirlwind to try and thin their ranks a bit. Maybe force a Green Tide if I can kill enough of them. But we'll see what happens. Also, I'm thinking Eliminators will go straight into probably the Weird Boy or Pain Boy because they're the squishy characters. Hey, but to start with, shall we? All right, we'll be back in a minute then. Actually, no, we'll do a Psychic because I'm going to try and smite the Meganobs or blow myself up. So either way, this is going to be hilarious. Which, oh, an 11.
6 more wounds.
That's it. So he goes from trying to kill himself to now, I just want to blow you up.
Bear with me just 2 seconds. I don't know whether Denial has changed range. Which is... Bear with me 2 seconds.
That's cool. We're going with a denial on a 12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah. It was just checking. It was still 24 inches. So yeah, might as well go for a double 6.
Nope, double 1 instead. So D6 more wounds. Of course, gets a 6. So
well, that's them gone.
Well, actually, that means my eradicators can eradicate something else. Haha. The puns. All right, cool. So we'll come back after my shooting. We'll recap what I've decided to do and see if there is anything left on the board. All right, so shooting actually went okay for me after I super smited the Meganobs. They're now dead. Then I decided to go on a small rampage over here where I've killed how many orcs? 10. Yeah, obliterate 10 of them. I've put a wound on the weird boy at the back. He's still a bit scary. Everything else, the eradicators literally eradicated a bunch of orcs because you know the puns are never ending now. But charges, I'm going to go straight in with Huron straight into Death Dread. Technically, I can't fail it. Or I could on double 1, but 11. I think I'm going to go around the back just to make sure you're a bit trapped. So, Huron has a very special lightning claw, as it's a little bit different than normal, as he is a living legend. So it's called a Ghost Razor. So Ghost Razor makes him strength 5, -5.
Right. Okay.
D3 damage. Does he have an invulnerable save?
What strength is he?
Strength 5.
It just doesn't. It's not a times 2. I think.
No.
Okay, so he doesn't have an invuln save, so
okay.
Anything wounds is going through.
Okay, but yeah, so his special ability with the Ghost Razors, if you do have an invuln save, if you successfully make it, you have to re-roll it.
Don't have invuln
I
saves,
know, but against like some armies, like Archons, that's horrific on a 2+. I'd be very scared of that.
Custodian, like that.
Yeah, so I can cause a bit of pain with it. So I get 5 attacks on the charge. I am hitting on 2s. Of course, re-rolling 1s. Cool, got to re-roll that 1. So all hit. Strength 5, toughness 7.
5 to wound.
So 5 to wound. So 2 go through straight away, and it's D3 damage apiece.
Okay, so if you roll double 6, oh. So he's down to 4 wounds. So he's down to 2.
Down to 2. Now the Blade Guard veterans get to throw in.
Actually, no, we don't.
No,
because they didn't charge, so I get to hit first.
Oh, you get to hit first. Awesome. So we'll resolve this and then come back with a roundup at the end of the turn. Okay, so attacks back. Blade Guard veterans are actually pretty darn good.
They are.
So 7 attacks, managed to pretty much rip through a Death Dread.
Yeah.
And completely got rid of him.
Completely whiffed.
Yeah, completely whiffed with 1s and 2s, which kind of helped me. So that's gone. They've consolidated. Huron's now staring at a wall, and the Blade Guard veterans are running after him. But that is the end of my turn.
Fin their ranks points. You've killed 10 Orc boys and 2 Meganobs. That puts you on to 28.
Yep.
Total. So that's 2 points.
Yep. And
you haven't got engaged on all fronts just yet.
Not yet, but I am starting to come out of my shell a bit.
Yep, and assassinate's not just yet either.
Not just yet, because your characters are still yet to get in combat, but potentially next turn I could come flying through a wall and go straight after your big boss.
You certainly could do. I could do the same.
You could do the same as well, and then we'll have a good matchup. Alright, so we're going to come back after Harry's movement and see what he's getting up to. I actually need to see morale on your boys, unless you're auto-passing them.
What's the range for mob rule? In 6. I don't think they're within 6 of that mob, actually.
No, just out.
Just out. So, D6 plus. 1 plus again.
Oh, those ones coming into play.
I mean, I can't roll a hit roll save a knife, but I can roll a morale check.
Yeah, so they're fine. Cool, so moving on to Harry's turn. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so coming back at the beginning of turn 3 for the Orks.
So first we've got getting a CP onto 5.
Yep.
In terms of victory points, I have once again scored another 15 again from the primaries because I hold 1, I hold at least 2, and I hold more than Tom. I then score 3 points from banners, so that puts me on a fair bit, so that'd be 35, 41 points at the moment.
Jesus, to my 10?
12.
12. I'm getting battered right now. Yeah, but all my stuff's endgame.
You've got a lot of stuff that's still my first wave has pretty much fizzled out at this point. So in terms of movement, this killer can stay still because he's on the objective and can see the intercessors.
Yep.
This killer can has moved over sideways so he can see the intercessors but can't be seen by the eradicators. That would have gone badly wrong for that. Yeah. The war boss is going what's behind the door to Huron. The pain boy has scuttled up behind the war boss and the orc boys. I just realised I popped him too far forward because he needs to be within an inch of the weird boy.
Yeah.
But he's still within feel no pain range of the war boss and the orc boys mob. The killer cans. This one has stayed still so you can see the intercessors who have come out of the tree line. This killer can here has shoved over a bit so we can see the intercessors, but more importantly can't be seen by the eradicators for obvious reasons.
I don't know what you're alluding to in any way, shape or form right now.
Boiling scrap metal, that kind of thing. The war boss has gone what's behind the door against Huron, and the weird boy has moved up so he gets the Orky War NG bonus. And the pain boy has moved up as well to give the blob of 20 orc boys feel no pain, but also he's within an inch of the pain boy, so I can do sawbones.
Okay.
So sawbones on a 2+, I gain D3 lost wounds. On a 1, I cause myself a wound.
Yeah. Come on, 1.
So gains his wound back.
Awesome.
So he's on max wounds. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 3 CP, so I'm down to 2, and I'm going to green tide. Because it's, or can I yet? Bear with. I just thought it's actually, it's a unit boys, you know, it's less than half range. They're at half range exactly, so it doesn't matter.
No.
So, scrap that, we're going to have to survive another turn.
You think you survive another turn.
Give it a go. So, in that case, we've got some jobs to do.
Sure. So, moving on to psychic.
Yes.
Are you going to do any psychic this
I
time?
will do dad jump. Okay.
What are you to jumping?
I am going to jump the... What's on this side here? Save. So we've got the incest in the whirlwind that side. I am going to... I'll jump this squad of... Actually, no, I'll leave the squad of Orc boys there because they will get shot up, but it's fine. I'm going to cast a jump and see what happens. So it does go off on a 10.
On a 10, but I do get to deny it.
No, on a 9, sorry, because of the amount of Orc poison.
Yeah, so I do get to deny, which fails.
Don't. That is fine, so I get to choose
do I
an
want to
orc.
CP that?
Shit.
It's on 7. I'm going to CP it.
Cool. Has to be greater, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, doesn't quite do it.
So close.
You know what? We are going to chuck the Gretchen back out the way, I think. So they're off the board. So 9 inches away would stick them too far away to get in cover save there. So they're going to chuck themselves back behind the tree line into cover.
Awesome.
So.
Cool. So we're going to move on to your shooting phase. So we'll
Yep.
come back after you've decided what you want to do, and we'll see what you're going to charge. Okay, so the Orks decided that they were going to throw pretty much everything, including the kitchen sink, at me, and resulted in
no wounds.
Yeah.
So the 2 killer cans chucked rockets at the intercessors. They missed. The Orc boys just shot. So this blob of 20 shot at the blade guards, which are now actually quite difficult to shift with their 2-up save.
Yeah, we're finding I'm actually pretty impressed how well they're holding up.
For only 3 guys.
Yeah.
The intercessors were shot by this squad of 10. Didn't do anything. And we're going to have to go on to charges. So, starting off, we're going to do my war boss into Huron, who, thanks to the closed door, cannot be seen. So
that
I
is
can't
true.
be overwatched.
So no Overwatch will be happening.
So,
Definitely makes it in.
definitely makes it in on a 7. So I am going to just go to the door itself. I'm not trying to do anything too shenanigan-y.
Okay.
The mob of 20 are going to charge Huron and the blade guards.
Okay.
So
yeah. How am I going to... Do I want to Overwatch? Nah, it's fine. Overwatch.
Okay. Oh, an 11 they are.
Definitely.
We'll do that one in a second.
Yep, because that's a lot of blokes.
So they're 8 inches away. You know what? I will. No, I'm not going to charge with the Orc boys. I'd rather you. Actually, no, I am going to charge your boys with the intercessors.
Okay, I am going to pay a CP to Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to pay another CP, being Iron Hands, to push it down to a 4-up on Overwatch. So we will come back after we've done Overwatch and all the charges are complete. Okay, so combat has now commenced between Huron and the War Boss.
We thought, as it's a bit of a key one, it's worth videotaping this one.
Yeah.
So in terms of hits, I missed with one of them with the War Boss with the reroll. However, I got 2 6s, which means I get 2 extra attacks. So that is 6 attacks hit.
Yep.
Wounding on 3s because you're
Toughness 4.
Well, wounding on 2s normally, but wounding on 3s because you're trait. And reroll because he's Killer Claw. Cool. So that's 2. That's 6 at -3 AP, please.
So that's 6 4-ups. Because I do get my 4+ invuln. So. Oof. 3 go through.
That's 12 damage, please.
Ooh, Jesus. So I'll do it in 2 lots of 6 because I do get 6 ups. So that's now 10 damage, and that is now 8 damage.
Yeah.
Oof, that's annoying. He dies by 1.
1 wound, but he gets his when does his mini Gilliman thing happen?
It happens at the beginning of my next turn, so even though he has gone down. So Huron does have basically a mini Gilliman feature built in, which is, what's it called? It is called Shadow Fate. So at the beginning of my next turn, I can roll on a 5+, he will come back with 1 wound. But I am going to pay the CP to make him fight as he goes down.
Yep.
So 2 CP puts you down to 3. I'll let him fight. So he gets 4 attacks base +1 because he got charged. So hitting on 2s, so all hit. And then I am strength 5.
I am toughness 5.
So 4s. So 2 go through, but
I've got
I'm also going to spend another CP to reroll 1. Doesn't matter. So 2 go through at -5.
I've got 4 of him on because of the biggest boss.
Yep, but if you do if you make it successful, you have to reroll it.
So 4's rerolling. So 2 passed.
2 passed, then he has to reroll.
1 failed.
1 failed, so then it's just D3.
Cool.
3.
Cool. He is down to 4 wounds remaining because The biggest boss means he's got 7 rooms space.
Yeah, and what we'll do, we'll make Huron take a nap.
On this side.
Yeah. Cool. So next will be the boys versus Blade Guard veterans, but that is a lot of attacks.
Would you like to interrupt beforehand?
No, because I spent the CP on... I was either going to interrupt with Huron if he survived,
Yeah.
and then do my punch back then, but as he died, I've taken the punch back instead there. So yeah, all those boys versus the Blade Guard veterans, so we'll roll that because it's a lot of dice, and then we'll come back just after that. Wow, okay, that was one heck of a fight. So it was probably about 70 attacks?
Yeah, he's... Actually, no,
more.
About 80 odd.
About 80 odd attacks into Blade Guard veterans, and they only just about managed to kill one after me heroically saving a ton of 2-up saves. Those new Storm Shields quite overpowered.
The 2-up save is really good against no AP attacks.
Yeah.
3-up Inbum was great against... If I was to chuck my War Boss in, 3-up Inbum would be great, but against low AP attacks, the 2-up save are just difficult to share.
Yeah, so they've managed to hold off, and over here the intercessors took 1 wound and managed to kill 6 on the return.
Yes.
No, yeah, 6 on the return.
So I have 2 morale for them.
Yep.
So 4 is 10. I kill another 3.
Another 3. And then does the combat attrition come into play?
Just double check.
Yeah, we'll double check that and we'll catch you back up. Okay, so at the end of Harry's turn, you score 6 points.
So in the end, morale we did a little bit wrong. I'm still thinking 8 standards. So lost 1. I then rolled a combat attrition test. So only the one that ran away. The other, so the knob has got two mates left. At the end of this round, I am on 41 points at the moment, at the end of my turn 3. So we're on to Iron Hands, turn 3.
Okay, so this is my make it or break it turn. I need to do a lot of damage so I can break out this time. So I've broken my intercessors over here. They've gone back, and so they've burnt the banner on that one. So then I'm now holding 3 objectives to Harry's 2. So I'm going to start scoring dominate. I've moved my eradicators back here because 2 of them can actually see the killer cam. So I'm going to try and blitz the killer can off 1. I've moved this group of intercessors up here because I may charge them into this big block with the blade guard, just trying to thin it out a bit more. Because I am probably just going to shoot them off the board with ease. In terms of like the whirlwind, it stayed still because I'm thinking I might try and pull off killing the Gretchens at the back just to get rid of them.
Could do.
Because it stops them from holding anything if I manage to get line of sight on the other killer cam. Just to try and push you back a bit. And then snipers have stayed still. In terms of psychic powers, because then what I'm going to do is wrap it because there isn't that much going on. With psychic powers, I'm probably just going to smite and then potentially or cast something. I'm not 100% sure yet. So we'll come back after my shooting phase and we'll see if that. Hopefully I'm as successful as I hope I'm going to be, because if I'm not, it's probably going to swing the game towards Harry's favour. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so recapping end of my shooting turn 3. So yeah, the eradicators did exactly what they were meant to do. They just absolutely blitzkrieged. I did use my last CP to get a reroll on the wound, because I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to kill it, and then I overkilled it by 4 wounds.
Yeah.
So obliterated it. Everything else shooting wise, I got rid of the 3 boys that were of course in front of me and didn't hurt the war boss, and then killed 2 grots because of the way the new terrain works. So the psychic trees managed to give them -1 to hit,
From dense cover.
and dense cover, which is actually a real big thing against the whirlwind, because
Yeah.
I should have just minced them, but it meant I was hitting a lot harder.
It saved those grots.
Yeah, so they're still alive. Cool, so we're going into charges. So charge-wise, I am going to be throwing all these intercessors and my librarian into this big blob as well, just to try and get rid of them. And then potentially the Vega veteran might go after the war boss, if he survives. Because he's probably one of the few things, unless he comes out of cover, he's probably one of the few guys that can actually take him one-on-one. So we're going to come back after that. Okay, so that did not go as planned. So massive fight over here that decided to come barreling in. Took out 11 orcs.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, all that. Ton of attacks. 11 orcs dead. Didn't even kill any morale.
No,
war boss.
I failed morale. Then used breaking heads, so I killed one breaking heads, but then saved with feeling no pain from the pain boy. So we're all good.
Yeah, so that's the end of the Astral Claws turn. Yeah, that didn't go as planned. I need to wipe them out to be able to break out to try and win this. So we're going to move on to turn 4 for the Orks and see what Harry comes up with, if anything. Might just be the combat over here. But yeah, we'll see what happens and we'll come back. So recap of turn 4 for the Orks. Harry's green-tided and brought this massive pack back over here, which has pulled them out of combat from this big group. His main characters are now coming across to come after this intercessor squad. If he does kill them, that will be the game, because I physically will not be able to pull back the points, because he will outscore me horrifically, like he already is. Cool. So we're going to go into
rest of movement. Grots will stay where they are.
Yep.
Killican has advanced over to grab that point there, so I'm not giving away sort of easy domination points. That. So first and first, Sawbones on the war boss. So on the, it's fine. So G3, 3. Cool. He's back up to full health, which is what I wanted. Psychic phase, because we'll just roll it into 1. The Weird Boy will cast. You know what? The Weird Boy. Does he smite or does he do jump? The Weird Boy will do jump. On an 8, that goes off.
Cool. I am going to try and deny that.
Yep.
On nope.
Cool. And he's going to go
Back here.
back to there. So once again, within 3 of the objective, but also -1 to hit from the woods.
Fair enough.
And that, because 3 grots shouldn't be that hard to kill.
Yeah.
Sweet. So in terms of shooting, I honestly don't. We'll fire some pot shots from this boy's mob here at the at the blob there.
Yeah, considering there's not much to do, we're probably going to incorporate shooting and combat.
Yeah.
And then we'll pop back at the end of the turn just to see if there's anything left, because we are into the deep part of the game, so there isn't much to do. So we'll catch you later. Okay, so after an absolutely mental, well, not really mental turn, but what I thought was going to happen over here, literally 2 boys came rocking up, killed my intercessors.
Yeah, did their job.
Yeah, it would have taken some very poor rolling on Harry's half to cause it to go to the next turn, really. But the way it stands, it's 63, 25, 26. Yeah, there's no way I can pull that back now. Even if I absolutely obliterate this squad, but I'd have to concentrate all my firepower over here or over here. I can't split it. If I could split, then game on. Yeah,
I don't think you can.
And then I could make a run for up here, but I would need to be holding at least 3 or 4 to even get the game to a tie. But still, man, absolutely legendary.
Well, actually, no.
Oh yeah, can't do that. Invisible handshake. Cool.
That's a cracker of a game.
Definitely.
I think in terms of secondaries, we both chose ones that worked, but we both chose secondaries that just didn't happen. So I never got the raid secondary at all.
Yeah, you never got to raid. I didn't get.
You didn't get engage on all fronts, or actually assassinate.
Or assassinate. Yeah, to be honest.
Assassinate would have been fine. If Huron had done his job and killed the war boss, it would have been game on. But that was.
Yeah, that wasn't as. Yeah, I think it goes to plan. But so no, definitely secondaries is definitely something you got to really work with. Like that, but that's a whole new point to the game. It's all a learning curve at the moment. But yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys, as always, and we will catch you very soon.